Okay, so my slideshow is about bots, and for those who don't know, the definition of a bot is basically a program designed to run a task that would be too repetitive or monotonous for a human to run. So they are especially effective to do things like small tasks, simple tasks, very quickly and repetitively, stuff that a human wouldn't necessarily want to do. And they have many different tasks that you can apply them for. And so there's two kind of overarching uses for bots. Obviously, you can use them for very good and productive things, but you can also use bots in very malicious ways. And it's very important to know the difference between the two because, as you can see by this chart, in 2016, over half of the total internet traffic was actually comprised of bots, and over half of that bot traffic was malicious or bad bots. So it's really important to know what these bots are doing and the difference between the good bots and the bad bots. So first, we'll talk about some of the uses that people use good bots for. And firstly, you guys have already probably all used these before without even really knowing it, but if you're on a website and you need like customer assistance with something, there's a little chat box at the bottom of the web page maybe. And you just text type whatever you need help with. My printer's broken or something. And it uses keywords based off what you say, and it will provide relevant information to help you resolve the issue, or it will just link you to an actual human that'll help you with the issue. And actually, this is pretty cool. A lot of companies, including Domino's, are adding support for Facebook Messenger. So, like for Domino's, for example, you can text them on Facebook Messenger just to order a pizza. You can say hello, and it will get you started with all the directions needed to start ordering your food, which is really helpful because then you don't have to worry about getting on the phone and talking to a person or going to the website because sometimes that's a hassle. And it's really just quick and easy to use Facebook Messenger to get that done. And then a really important use of bots is something called scraping. So what scraping is basically a bot is able to scan a web page for information that's most relevant and useful to what you're looking for. So for example, I'm sure you guys have all done this before. You Google something for example, like a list of US presidents, and before you have to click on a web page or anything, a little box of just like a bolded list of the presidents will come up because bots have scraped, like say a Wikipedia web page, and just pull out that most relevant information to you for you to use without having to go to a web page or search for that information yourself. And then another kind of less important, but in my opinion, cool use for bots. This picture's not really extremely related to it, but bots are able to analyze past trends of sports data and predict outcomes of games and stuff. And then another pretty cool one is a lot of you guys probably use Reddit, and you guys have probably seen bots in different subreddits carrying out different tasks. They can do a ton of stuff. Some are not that useful, like they'll just insult people randomly, but some are actually pretty useful. Like a cool one that I saw is Unit Convert, where basically it scans a whole bunch of different random subreddits, and if it sees something like if someone mentions 4 pounds, then they'll reply and say 4 pounds is about the size of an average Chihuahua. So that it converts like a number into something that you can more easily quantify in your head. And there's also a lot of uses of bad malicious bots, starting with scraping again, can be used in a very malicious way. So bots can scrape a website. Say you post an article, if you're a journalist or something, a bot can scrape that article and take out a lot of the good content that you wrote and steal it and publish it off somewhere else as its own, which obviously is plagiarism and is very bad and should not be done, but sadly it does happen. So it's good to be aware that that does happen. Another one is DDoS attacks, which stands for distributed denial of service attack. And you can kind of see it based off this diagram, what it vaguely is, where basically one person can use a virus to infect many computers, right? A lot more than just 4, but they infect as many computers as possible, and then they can direct all of those computers' internet traffic onto one server, which essentially chokes all the bandwidth off, like in that cartoon. Obviously, you can't literally like squeeze a cable to choke the bandwidth, but and essentially what that does is it doesn't allow other people to access that server. So if you're I don't know, if you're a really bad guy and you own a company and you want to shut down a rival company's website or something, you could theoretically have a DDoS attack on them if you have a virus that's infected many computers. So that's another really bad way to use bots. And then, again, this isn't extremely relevant, but I got this email just the other day from the Wall Street Journal, and they were bragging about the fact that they have no bots or anything like that. So it's very clear that bots are very relevant and impactful to everything today. Does anyone have any questions about bots? Anything else? This is my last slide. I got about 7.5 seconds left. So. Yeah.
What would you define as a bot?
So a bot is essentially just like a program written by someone that can carry out a task, usually a simple task that's very repetitive, a little bit too monotonous for a human to carry out. So if it's like something simple, or that you wouldn't want to do, like you just write a code to do it, and a bot will go do it for you. That's very like bare bones description of a bot, though. There's much more complicated ways to use and describe them. So any other questions before I finish?